You learn more, you earn more. It is time for another episode of Ask Pat, where Downing-Frye Realty's Director of Corporate Training helps you become more productive, professional, and profitable in your real estate career. Please welcome Pat Pitocchi and Cindy Woolley.
I just love getting introduced every day like that. That just, beefs up my self-esteem, my confidence,
Absolutely.
We're going to get the day done. We're going to bring some real value to people. It's always good to see and talk to you, Pat. How are you?
Oh, it's wonderful to see you again, and hope everything is fine where you are.
Absolutely. We got a lot to talk about. The political landscape we were talking about before the show. It's political season's on, and laws are coming out, and there's updates to be had in the real estate industry. And you just got back from the Florida Realtors Conference, so
Yes,
good information there.
Yes, very good information, and it's always a little hectic when you're there, and that sort of thing. However, it's really good. It's very, very important that we bring back what is going on and what may happen, so we can tell our folks, and they can be prepared and hear about it anyway. So that's part of the reason that we feel it's really good for everyone that we go.
Absolutely. One of the big topics that we've been talking about the past couple of months has been this foreign buyers conveyance law.
Sure.
There's been a ruling last week, an update to what's happening. Can you just, for people who still need to be brought up to speed, can you give us like a short snippet about where we've been and what happened and where we're going?
Sure. I think one of the issues that I want to really stress with all realtors is that when you do this, your opinion should not enter this at all. This is simply you're supplying facts to folks. The facts are, in May, this was this conveyance to foreign families was signed into law. It was effective as of 1 July. As of last week, we were awaiting the decision from the court. We received it last week, and the court refused to grant a stay. So it is law. We must follow the law. Therefore, it does not matter what our personal opinion is. We are to present it neutrally. We are not to use facial gestures which indicate that we do not subscribe to this or believe in this or whatever. We are just to present, these are the facts. My job is to make sure you know everything I know, and we must follow this law. And it's a complicated law once we really dig into it. There's agricultural land, military installations, and infrastructure there. I have no idea where all the agricultural land is in the state of Florida. This is a Florida law. I have no idea where the military installations are in the state of Florida, whether I have all of them or not. So I will not speak about that. What I don't know about, I won't speak about. I have no idea. That is what we really want to encourage realtors to say. The lawyers, the attorneys are arguing about when is the time of purchase. Must I do this or that? Here is what we know. In the law, the affidavit, which all buyers will be required to sign at time of purchase, it's called. Now, we consider that right now to be closing. So I'm okay with having the closing agents have to handle this. Well, I want the realtors want this off the realtors' backs. That burden is off there. The law insists that FREC is going to generate an affidavit, which will be signed by all buyers, all buyers will be affirming with this law, they are able and they are complying with the law when they purchase this Florida property.
Mhm.
Up to them, not up to us to research, not up to us to know what the difference is. So, what did we do from here? Well, with this law, Florida Realtors that produces documents and forms, and NABOR, which produces the NABOR documents and forms, have done some things that are the same and some things that are different. Both Florida Realtors and NABOR forms have above the signature line the verbiage, the exactly same verbiage. We have exactly the same verbiage on Florida Realtors and NABOR that talks about this law, and it says, attention, seller and buyer. In addition, Florida Realtors has produced a disclosure which has that same language on it. NABOR has not. So, what are we going to do? What is a realtor going to do? I've had people in my office. One of our realtors was in tears, having worked for a month with a customer, to find out after this law was passed that this customer would not be able to purchase property in Florida after the realtor has worked with it. So, because I am concerned about that, as well as the fact that these are 7 countries of concern, and the fair housing laws, which are federal and state, really do not allow us to ask, well, what country are you from, sir? Are you from one of these countries? We don't want people to ask that. So we suggest that they show people the law itself, which is just above the signature line on sales contract with both Farbar and NABOR, and say to them, you will be asked to sign an affidavit saying you are eligible and complying with the law when you make this purchase.
And I think
That's it.
consistency is key, that this is good. This happens with every person.
Absolutely.
That we're educating every buyer that this is going to happen. And if you can't comply, let's save everyone some time and
Yep.
energy. So I think that's such a smart step. And what I was hearing is that Florida Realtors has the signature, but were you saying that neighbor contracts don't have it yet?
They do. They do have the exact same language. So I think that is a real plus this time that we have permission from Florida Realtors. I'm on the committee that writes these contracts. I was on the task force that did this. We have permission to use the exactly same language. So I think that's really a plus for us this time. They sometimes do different things, but I think, within our brokerage, within Downing-Frye, for example, I have made a video so that realtors can do either of 2 options. Number 1, play the video for all buyers. Or number 2, use the sales contract and show the buyers, all buyers, this above the signature line, attention to sellers and buyers. So if they don't want to get involved in saying anything that could possibly get them into violation territory of fair housing, they could just play the video for everyone. We want everyone treated in exactly the same way. And the only help that we could give would be to have this video. I made the video. It's on me, and it does not violate fair housing. What I'm worried about is I love realtors. They're just wonderful. But, they try to answer everything, and that's their job, to be nice, to be wonderful and lovely, and, to help everyone. I just don't want them talking a lot about this so that they over talk it. And that's why we made the video, thinking maybe that would be helpful for some people who were worried about that, particularly new to the industry. to say, oh, well, this, and they continue to talk for 5 minutes and then talk themselves into just a terrible corner.
Well,
So,
it's so easy. I mean, during that whole
yeah,
buying process, you're getting to know your customer.
yeah.
You're calling, you're texting at different times of the day. It's a very friendly relationship, and it's easy to let your guard down and let something slip that is, could potentially a violation. And so this video is such a great resource for agents to be able to, just cleanly say, this is the new law. Here's an explanation of it. Here's the form, and be done with it, right? Like get it out of the way, and then get on to looking for property, right? Looking for.
Absolutely. And I think doing that at the onset with all buyers, just include that in these are the services you provide or the way you work makes sense. And you won't spend all that time. It was heartbreaking because realtors are basically good people. They're just trying to help people. And I think, and I don't think they leave their house and say, gee, let me violate fair housing today. No, it just sort of happens and they talk themselves into a corner. So use that and try not to, even with facial gestures and all of this, don't roll your eyes and say, oh, we have this and whatever, so that your opinion comes through. Just factually state, this is what we know. I am not a realtor, and I'm not a measurer. I'm not an immigration attorney. And two of the 7 countries of concern, which include the People's Republic of China, Russia, Iran, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, which means North Korea. I have absolutely no knowledge whether a town is from North or South Korea.
Mhm.
I don't know. And I'm the first to admit I don't know. The Republic of Cuba, of course, and Venezuela under Nicolas Maduro. I have no idea when he was in power. I have no idea if someone was from Venezuela or Colombia, spent a lot of time there, but I don't know, or Syria. So and it's a crime. So we're here talking about very heavy penalties. And it's perfectly fine to say, I have no idea
Mhm.
whether this town is whatever. So all I know is you have to be able to sign this affidavit that you're in compliance with this act. And whether I like the act is irrelevant to the whole discussion.
And failing to do that could mean 30, 60 days down the road, you've put in hours and hours of work, and
Mhm.
there's no commission at the end of the day. There's no
No,
payday, because someone else is really double checking the work, and
yeah.
preventing that from happening. So.
Can you imagine if you've looked at housing for a month and then you have to go to that customer and say, um, we've had a new law come in. That's just heartbreaking, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's, but we are trying all we can right now. I call Freck every day. I'm a wonderful pest. And I call them to ask if the affidavit's prepared. I was told last week that they haven't started it yet.
Oh, okay.
So this is August, whatever, 24th, and this law went into effect July 1st, but they will now start this affidavit, which is required that they produce by law.
Mhm.
And so we are kind of left in the no man's land here. Realtors are sort of in the no man's land. We want to make sure we don't violate fair housing, and we want to make sure we don't violate the law.
Well, this is a kind of weighty subject, right?
Yeah,
But we've got some exciting topics coming up,
yeah,
and we've got Pat's boot camp coming up on September 20th.
yes,
You're pulling together speakers. We're going to be talking AI, social media, marketing, business management, websites, everything agents need to really get their businesses set up for success this season. So want to remind everyone to watch out for updates and notices for that. And we're really picking up some exciting speakers and topics for our sales meetings. So want to just remind new agents that if you haven't attended one of our sales meetings, you do have the option to attend in person, meet people face to face. But if you are busy, you can always log in remotely and still get great information and stay in touch with what's happening with Downing-Frye overall and the community. So I think there's some really exciting things to look forward to in the next month or so. Pat, is there any final closing words you'd like to add in?
Just when you learn more, you can earn more. And we want everyone at Downing-Frye to be successful. And if you feel in any way that your current brokerage does not really, match your plan, join us.
Absolutely. Now's the perfect time to make the switch.
Absolutely.
All right, my friend, I hope you have a wonderfully productive day, and I look forward to talking to you again.
You too. Lovely, lovely interaction. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Ask Pat. You can learn more at downingfry.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn.